easy street.
Michael, I have to ask you this. As a fan of Tribe Called Quest, and to see this conflict going on between Phife and Q-Tip, how did that make you feel?
Well, as a fan, it didn't affect me because the music is the music, and when I kind of got caught up in the stuff, I would just listen to the music. But as a man and as someone who's witnessing it, and who's been through my own share of fractured relationships with friends, it was hard to be around because you just want to. And I would ask during interviews, well, did you tell him that? Have you guys talked about this? And then that would lead us down another path. And then I would look at the footage and start editing the scenes and know that, yeah, I'm saying, did you do that? And I know that in my own personal life, yeah, I could be doing better at mending my side of the street in my relationship. So as a fan, it didn't affect me. The music is always going to be spectacular and timeless. But it was hard to be around because, people arguing or missing each other. It's not even arguments. It's like, if you guys just kind of got, clear with each other, you just would be solved, like you just like want to fix it, and come on, but it was hard to watch sometimes because, a part of me started to care about it, and so that was tough, but I tried to be completely non-judgmental and not bring my own personal, feelings or agenda to it, and try to be, as a filmmaker, be just kind of a blank slate when I'm around it. And certainly in the editing room, I'm not there to judge or pick sides or who's right or who's wrong, and just try to tell the story in a balanced way as best I can, based on what I shot,
So what was like one of the toughest parts or scenes when you were making this movie about about Tribe Called Quest? Was there one particular scene or part of the film that you were just like, damn, this is hard?
Whew, man. I mean, everything was hard about making this film. Fife's health stuff and showing that in a way that was genuine, honest, not over the top, not disrespectful to him as just a person, not even as Phife, as just as a man. Like, he was really, open and honest and respectful of his wife and what they were going through, with his health. That was hard because you don't want to do too much. You don't want to be overly, indulgent. That was challenging. Obviously, picking songs. Every single Tribe Called Quest song, you could just kind of shut your eyes and go, this one, that one. Which songs do we highlight? You could talk about every song on the first 3 albums. You could do the scenario, check the rhyme. You could do lyrics to, oh my God, like what song do you pick? That was challenging just as a fan, and honestly, we got so much great footage from just the group, but like the people that we interviewed, the Beastie Boys, Common, Ludacris, Questlove, Black Thought from the Roots, Santi Gold, who's completely cut out of the final cut. Everyone had so many anecdotes and so many fond memories of Tribe Called Quest and articulated what they mean to them as artists and inspiring them. That was hard to do. And, but I started having to not interview people. I would get phone calls from cool people like, yo, I heard about the movie. Can I be in it? I saw Tribe in 1990 in D.C.
I was there.
Yeah, and
I was there.
They mean that much to the fans, and as the celebrity fans, like people want to tell because they cherish that moment. And I liken it to my mother talks to me about seeing the Beatles for the first time at Shea Stadium when they first came to the United States, and she'll never forget that.
Right.
People are like, well, I saw Tribe Called Quest. That was my first concert in 1990, and we were there, and it was such a beautiful thing. People, want to tell you that stuff, and picking the best stuff of that, where it's not overindulgent, but keeping a story going forward is a challenge in an editing room. And as a director, you're like, what the fuck?
Right.
Like how do I do this? Because I can tell you one thing as a director, I was given all the ingredients to make a good film very quickly. Like the footage that I shot very quickly, I knew that there was no excuses. And the last thing I wanted to do, because the cat got out of the bag that Michael Rappaport, the actor, was doing a documentary on Tribe Called Quest, and it was publicized very quickly. I didn't want to be 5 years from now, people say, yo, what's up with that Tribe movie? You finished that Tribe movie? Like, I was like, this has to be done. You know, it has to be done for my own, you know, like peace of mind. Like I didn't want to, and there was no excuses. Like, oh yeah, there's no story. Like there was a story, and there was excitement from the beginning. So that was my little quest.
What about you, Phife? Talk about your challenges. Was there anything challenging for you? I really don't want to get into the health piece because I want people to go see the film to figure out. We're glad you're doing well, but I don't want to give the whole thing out. You want to know what's going on with Phife's health, you have to watch the film, and he'll explain it all. But let's talk about the challenges in regards to what you were feeling and how was it for you to be able to do all this with your condition.
I mean, there wasn't nothing. He made it pretty easy. I mean, New Yorkers definitely know and understand New Yorkers. You know what I mean? Not only that, he came to film me at my house in, outside of Oakland. And, like I said, I was home. Not only did he make me feel at home, but I was already at home. You know what I mean? So we just meshed, and everything just flowed. It got to the point where the camera was on, but I didn't really pay it any mind. Because, to be totally honest, in the beginning, when I knew the camera was on, it was like, yo, could you leave? Could you get out of here with that camera? You know, that type of thing. I used to get on my nerves after a while, but I got used to it, and we in the house playing Wii. Wife is cooking, or I'm cooking, or whatever. We upstairs in my studio listening to beats, talking about the Knicks, and whatever. So once he started asking questions, it was just, everything just flowed. So it wasn't really a challenge at all. It was cool. It just flowed.
Do you feel like that Michael portrayed you in the film? Do you think he was fair in the portrayal of you and Q-Tip?
I can't speak for Kamal, but for me, I thought it was fair. You know what I mean? I just looked at it like, okay, some are gonna think I'm the bad guy. That's fine with me. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's real life situation. You know what I mean? I'm not perfect. I know that first and foremost. But at the same time, I'm gonna keep it 100 at all times. At least I try to. You know what I mean? It's not like a girl I want to date or something, and I'm gonna tell her a bunch of true lies or what have you. I'm just gonna keep it real. You know, some people have a problem with that. Some people don't understand how to call a spade a spade. You know, they want to beat around the bush and fabricate and sugarcoat and things of that nature. I'm not made from that cloth. I'm a true Trinidad and Tobago head. We don't do that.
Trini to the bone.
Trini to the bone, exactly.
Michael, how did you maintain fairness in making sure that you didn't make Phife look like the bad guy or Q-Tip look like the bad guy in this film?
The way I maintained fairness was just going through the footage, looking at all the footage, and really trying to be balanced, and not judging them personally. You know, when I'm looking at them, like not judging them, and just trying to, you know, be respectful, not overindulge, and not make it scandalous. You know, there's a lot of footage that didn't make it into the movie to keep things classy. And I wasn't trying to make a reality show. I wasn't trying to disrespect them as individuals. I wasn't trying to disrespect the legacy of A Tribe Called Quest. But there's a lot of footage that other directors would have went for using. Shot footage that people on camera saying different things that never was shown to the group, never was shown to Phife, who's sitting right next to me, never was shown to Q-Tip. And I'm saying that because, you know, listen, I have a respect for myself. I feel like, you know, I've represented myself with class the 20 years that I've been an actor. I'm a father. You know, my kids are on the internet. And, you know, I wouldn't want anybody to take cheap shots at me. And although, you know, the movie does have stuff, I know that in my heart and, you know, based on the stuff that I have, I did the right thing. And I did the classy thing. And the movie's told with class and respect. And respect for Tribe, respect for hip-hop and what it's given to me, and just respect for them as individuals, because, you know, if I wanted to make a cut of the movie that was scandalous and that was really, you know, tintillating and worth twittering and all that shit about.
Right.
There's a cut of that movie that could be assembled on the footage just that I have, and that wasn't my agenda. Tribe Called Quest is a classy operation, you know, and I wanted to keep things classy. That doesn't mean, you know, I was doing, you know, I'm not gonna do a, you know, like a fluff piece. In order to keep things classy and to keep things honest, you know, there has to be a story, and there's good and bads and, you know, uncomfortable parts of every story. So I know from the bottom of my heart what my agenda was from the whole time. So.
Okay. Final questions, real quick. Just want to ask you this. I have to ask you, Michael. How in the hell did you link up and convince Sony Classics to make this film? They've never done anything like this before. Well,
they didn't make the film. They bought the film after. I mean, the film was independently financed. The first half of it was financed by me, period. And then along the way, you know, when we started to have some scenes assembled, I was able to pick up some extra financiers and some other producers that came on board, and that was on the strength of what we were doing and people being fans of A Tribe Called Quest. Sony Pictures Classics saw the film at Sundance, and they bought the film as many. That's the process. Sundance is for buying films, for buying independently made films, and then Sony and Miramax and, you know, Fox Searchlight will pick them up if you're lucky enough. And that's has nothing to do with me. I think it all has to do with Tribe and what they mean to the fans and the kind of honesty and candidness they gave me while shooting the movie. I was just there to document. You know, Tribe Called Quest. I mean, from day one, people have come out of the woodworks to want to be a part of this movie. Work for free. No, not one person has made a nickel off this movie yet, because you know, people wanted to just be a part of it because they love Tribe. People I never met before wanted to be a part of the movie because they love Tribe Called Quest. You know, the animation in the film. You know, I want to do something. With the animation is done by a great artist named James Black. He kills it.
Yeah, he's dope. That's very dope.
So great. It's special. And you know, he was like, I want to do something. You know, and you know, it's just off the strength of the group. Nothing to do with me.
Phife, did you have any say in regards to the film or any of the some of the throwback material that we saw from back in the days? Did you have any input at all?
Other than the pictures, I gave them a lot of pictures. My parents gave them a lot of pictures, stuff like that. But that was about it.
And they gave us leads. I mean, the archival footage was hard. Like, yo, call Ralph McDaniels. I remember we got filmed at this show. That was, and that was hard. It was like uncovering jewels. There's one footage of a concert where Jungle, Latifah, Moni Love, Tribe is performing. I mean, they are children. They're teenagers. And, you know, like the guy was like, I never even looked at this footage. I haven't looked at it. I think I shot those guys. And, you know, but it was like, and you'd be like, holy, look at Queen Latifah. She's 18. Look at her, you know, and, you know, he's like, yeah, check it out, you know, and like, so, but that was fun. It was challenging, but you'd unearth these things and you'd be like, yeah, you could use it. I'm like, I can? Like, it was like finding like a dinosaur bones. You know, for me, it was like, holy shit, look at this fucking footage. And, you know, Ralph McDaniels and you know, and the guys, you know, they gave me a lot of stuff. And MTV, you know, they obviously they got a lot of stuff on them, and they've, you know, been documented. And, you know, when you look back on the stuff, it's 20-something years old. You could really have perspective on the time, where we were at, you know, where things were at politically. You know, you see the clothing and the, you know, the Afrocentric stuff and how that was, you know, one of the things about A Tribe Called Quest is, and De La and Jungle Brothers, particularly like those three groups, and Queen Latifah and Moni Love, is, you know, now you see dudes with braids, you see dudes with dreads, you see, you know, black men in all sort of different forms in hip hop. At the time, it was like, yo, what the fuck is this shit? This is like some crazy Grateful Dead hippie shit, rap shit. You know, and they had the courage to do that and be themselves. And that's one of the things that comes up a lot. Like, Questlove told me a story that didn't make the film. He was like, I was always kind of the weirdo on my block. I had, braids, and I always had my hair in an afro, and I'd wear jean jackets, and, and I'd have beads and stuff like that. And he goes, I was always looked at as a weirdo. And he says, after Tribe Called Quest came out, I started seeing a lot of people with braids.